quit my job if I hate it? A very tough decision to make. A lot of consequences will come from what you choose to do. So my name's Richardson. I make these videos because I want to empower you to be able to choose and make the right choice for your life so you can live a life on your terms. That's what I do. That's why I coach people. That's why I make the videos, just to share my experience. So hopefully people can learn and then make a better informed decision for themselves. So with that, should I quit my job if I hate it? There's 2 steps, pretty simple, that I see that you need to do before you quit your job if you hate it. So, first step, get an understanding of where you're at. With this, if you're having a struggle to understand where you're at in this situation, I would encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below. This balance wheel can highlight more than just your professional. It's going to look at professional, relationships, health, and resources, and they are all related. So that can kind of give you some insights that, oh, maybe it shows you my relationships are really suffering as a result of this job. Or maybe I'm just not satisfied in the professional area. It's just a point of giving you those insights. So take that balance wheel, and then from there, find out why you hate your job. Then you can confront it. What do I mean by finding out why? You need to look at, is it the work itself? Do you not enjoy actually what you do? So if you're a salesman, for example, do you not enjoy going to people and trying to sell them a product? Is it the work itself? Or if you work in retail, is it the work itself? Is there something that you don't like about what you do and you want to change something you want to do? Maybe it got boring. Maybe you never enjoyed it to begin with. What is it? Is it the culture? Is there a toxic workplace environment where there's bad managers, maybe bad coworkers? There's just a dynamic that you do not like within the culture. Maybe that's an issue. Or maybe it's personal factors. Maybe you want to be able to go to every one of your kids' soccer games. Great. And maybe that's a factor, and maybe that makes you hate your job. Whatever it is, you need to identify why you hate the job. Because you need to dig in and realize, is it just emotional? There's a chance there's just an emotional piece that you don't like about the job. And that's okay as well. But figuring out why you don't like it will help you solve that problem. From there, after you figure out the problem, you then need to look at, what does your financials look like? Do you have 6 months of expenses saved up? And I would encourage you to have that if you're going to quit your job. Not financial advice, but just a rule I've lived by my whole life. Now, also, what are your career goals? Does this job help you get to your career? Is it you're gonna have to just suffer for a year so then you can go on to the next thing? Or does this job not really serve you in any way for your career goals? Look at that. And then also, what's your personal responsibility? Do you have people to take care of? Things like that. That's another factor you gotta consider with your job if you're gonna quit it. So once you get an understanding of where you're at, then we need to consider our next steps. What goes into that? So as you think about, why do you hate your job? And the reason I had you do that is because in this step, once you consider your next steps, you're gonna reverse engineer why you hate it into solutions of things that you may like. So if you hate being a salesman, as the example I used earlier, hate selling something, you're like, okay, I hate selling something. Well, maybe I can reverse that to, maybe I would like helping someone a different way. Or maybe you hate doing retail because of your coworkers. Okay, if I hate these qualities in the coworkers, what qualities would I like? Because then you can start to think in an inverse thinking, which makes it a lot easier, because as humans, we can easily spot problems, but sometimes we struggle to find solutions. So spot the problems and then reverse engineer those into solutions. And that can be very helpful. From there, you can look for a new situation. Maybe the culture is company-wide and you need to look for a new job. Maybe the culture, there's only a problem in a certain department and you could switch to a different department. So it opens some more possibilities. That's why I have you identify the problem first. I would also encourage you to seek support and guidance from any mentors you have, friends or family or professionals, therapists, stuff like that. Anybody in your corner. Maybe you don't have a mentor. Really easy hack for a mentor, go reach out on LinkedIn. That someone is doing something that you want to do. Say, hey, I'm early in the process. I see you are successful. Would you have 15 or 30 minutes for you to tell me what I should do in my shoes? Most people will really like that message and they'll want to respond. I've done it twice myself just to prove that it works, and it does work, I promise you. So with that, try to get some advice from professionals or mentors or family, like I said. And then also, the final thing you need to do when considering your next steps is consider short-term versus long-term. This kind of ties back to, is this an emotional problem that you just need to tough out for a year? Because sometimes that's what it is. Also, or is it a thing where I just need to quit this job now for my long-term career success or my long-term career happiness, whatever it may be, but you need to consider the short-term versus the long-term. Look at the next year compared to 5 years. That can be a good frame to go into it with and help you make the right decision. So with that, you'll be looking at your impact on your career, your well-being, and your stress related to it. So today, just went over, should you quit your job if you hate it? Again, it's entirely up to you, and this is just my subjective opinion, but hopefully it was helpful.